And I hope I have everyone's approval on that. Thank you. Okay. So good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Team 5 ICF Competence Coaching Knowledge Exchange. We started a couple of months ago. Earlier this year, we looked at what can we do to further help our learnings with regards to coaching. It was really important because late last year, ICF, which is the principal International Coach Federation, developed the 8 competencies for team coaching. And that was birthed from the fact that a lot of organizations are beginning to embrace coaching and demand for coaching. And at the organizational level, coaching is more towards team coaching. Although we do a lot of one-on-one coaching for line managers and supervisors, but for them, they need more of team coaching competence because it enables them manage their teams to drive performance and productivity. So the 8 competencies was developed last year by ICF, and we thought that it's really important for us because a lot of us, we work and we have to work in teams. So how do we begin to bring coaching into how we manage people within the organization, even as HR professionals? How do we also coach our line managers, our supervisors to better understand team coaching? Even though we do a lot of one-on-one coaching, there might be a bit of dynamics required when it comes to team coaching. It was on that note we thought it was important to start learning the required competencies for team coaching. We started the first competence, which was on demonstrating ethical practice. Spoke about when we come to team coaching, ethically, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable for as best practice. Then afterwards, we equally had another group reviewed competence 2, which is embodies a coaching mindset. Beyond the ethics and practice that should guide our team coaching, what is the mindset that we should have as coaches when we are coaching our various teams? We had team justice to that. The recording will be made available after this session. Then we also had team 3 spoke to us on competence 3, which is on establishing and maintaining agreements. Because it's team coaching, there's a need for us to agree and align on what is required, what are the expected outcomes from our coaching session within our teams. That was another powerful session. And competence 4 was taken by Group 4, which is cultivates trust and safety. I mean, a place of team coaching which comprises of individuals with various backgrounds, various expectations, various mindsets. There's a need for us to understand how do we build trust within that team, and especially with the fact that when there is trust within a team, then it helps drive in the same direction. I mean, the goal is headed towards the same, and everyone sort of owns that. And there's a need for a place of safety. I mean, we have people in teams who have different strengths. Not everyone will be a high performer within a team, but how do we bring everyone together to a place of safety and vulnerability, to the extent that even if one team member drops, I mean, we are not cast, they don't feel disconnected from the team. That was another powerful session by team 4. And today is another exciting learning exchange session with Group 5. And today we'll be talking about maintains presence. On that note, I would like to invite Team 5 to take over the conversation from here. I don't know if you have presentation, emoji, make you a co-host so that you can share your screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've made you a co-host. You have the floor. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I hope your weekend has been splendid. For some persons who are addicted to learning, I know yesterday was back to back when different platforms learning and picking a lot of things. So, and then this afternoon, we're on the platform with my HR story. And so you are welcome again to another learning platform, another learning time. And this is Team 5. We're going to be taking you on the ICF Core Competence 5. And I have my partner on this platform. Both of us will be doing justice on behalf of our team. Our team members are here represented on the platform. So they're also here to also contribute. And we're going to be taking your questions. Maybe, I don't know, maybe after both of us, after we finish presenting, we'll be taking your questions. And so sit very well and enjoy yourself. Okay, so like Coach Lara mentioned, she alluded to when she started ICF Core Competence. So this was developed in 2020 and was released this year. And it is to enhance team coaching. There has been one-on-one coaching. A lot of people have gone through that, but there is a need for team coaching. And that is why these eight core competencies came up. And they are divided into 4 categories. The first one is the foundation, and that talks about demonstrating ethical practice, embodying coaching mindset, and then the co-creating the relationship, and that speaks to establishing and maintaining agreement, cultivating trust and safety. And the last competence on that category is maintains presence, and that is where we are tonight. So when we say maintains presence, what does it mean? I think I've read and I've thought through this and listened to several people speak. Maintaining presence will mean being able to pay attention. So you are with a mentee or you are with a client, it is expected that you bring your presence along. Someone said that the best presence you can give is your presence. And so when you bring your presence along, it also shows respect. It shows that you have regard for that person. Because being in a coaching engagement and you are all over the place, and it can really show facially, your body language can also show it that you are not really available. That can be very demoralizing. It can be rude, and it can also be insensitive to this mentee or to this client. Considering the fact that a situation or a challenge has informed that meeting. So it is required that when you come into that kind of a meeting, you really bring all of you into that meeting. You show respect by being present, by showing that you are available. And how do you do this? When you look at the definition of that competence, maintains presence, it's just that you are fully aware and you are conscious of that environment, and you are you are showing to the client that you are available to listen and to be able to provide solutions to some of the things they are going to be saying. Basically, it's to show that you are giving a listening ear and you are listening to all that they had to say. Now, when you talk about maintains presence, it means that you need to remain focused, you need to be observant, you need to pay attention and show interest in this person. And showing interest means a lot of things to different people. It shows maintaining eye contact. It also shows that with your body language, you are nodding and you are somewhat affirming the person to say, yes, I'm here with you and I'm listening. Sometimes you may need to paraphrase what has been said, as in, do you mean this? Do you intend to say this? Just to create clarity and also for that person to know that you are emotionally and physically available to listen to what they have to say. But you see, in doing this, there needs to be a balance because especially when you are in a cross-cultural coaching engagement where you need to maintain eye contact, you need to nod, you need to paraphrase, you need to understand that you cannot all the time be interjecting this person. You must listen. You need to listen to what they are saying. You know, it's about them talking and you listening and not trying to tell them what to say. So here, you need to also be conscious of the cultural biases. For some persons, when you look too deep or too much into their eyes, some tradition, some culture, it is termed rude. Some, it can be, they can term it as you are intimidating them. So while you are doing this, while you are trying to maintain your presence and you are trying to be responsive and you are showing that you are focused, you also need to bring along with you some of these cultural tendencies and biases, because it can be misinterpreted and taken to be something else. So you need to be aware, you need to understand, especially if you know ahead of time the kind of person you are going to be meeting. It will also be nice to read about their culture, to read about their belief system, so that in the course of your discussion with them, you are able to balance all these things, being responsive, being focused, and maintaining eye contact and all of that. Another part to maintaining presence is you need to demonstrate curiosity during the coaching process. Again, balance is the name of the game here. Because in the course of wanting to be curious and you want to sustain that, you enter into a state where you start probing and you start asking questions, and you might lose your mentee or your client at that point, because for some of them, again, cultural biases. So while they are talking and you want to probe, just to ensure that they know that you are here and that you are interested in them, you're also trying to control their own, bring their mind to that conversation. Because it's possible that you are talking, and it's possible that they are talking, but they will actually be talking in absentia. They may be saying some things to you, but they're really not into it. They're not, their emotion is not into it, their attention is not into it. And a lot of times when they such people speak, you hear them say, what was my last comment? What did I just say? And that is why you use the element of curiosity to understand what they're saying, to sustain the conversation, also to ensure that they are also alive. They are right there in that meeting, not that they are talking and they're somewhere else. And a lot of times they will have said a lot of things. And then by the time you start saying, do you mean this? They start saying to you, oh, did I really say that? So you use curiosity during the coaching process to sustain the engagement, to assure them that you understand what they are saying, that you are there with them, you can align with what they're saying, to also bring their own mind to that conversation so that they are aware of what they are saying, and you are able to maintain emotions, either by nodding, either by showing faces. There are different people say different things about the universal human emotion. Some say you have 9, some say 6, some say 7, but I'm going with the 7, and you use any of this to really show, to show emotion, to let them know that, oh, you are with them. For example, someone is saying something very emotional, something not too nice, not something, maybe something sorrowful. You want to show that you feel their pain, either by showing face for sadness, or you want to like, oh, so sorry for that. Because in coaching, you need to bring all that you have. Yes, your non-verbal cues also needs to come into it. They must be able to see that you are also in alignment with what they are saying. Either that they are showing sadness and you are like, sorry, or that you are showing surprise. Or like, what happened? Did that really happen? Seriously? Really? You mean that? All of these are things that you bring on board during coaching process to show that you are there, that you are maintaining presence, that you are there by yourself also, that you are not carried away, because it's also possible that they are talking and your thought is somewhere else. You are listening, but you are really not listening. You are there, but you are really not listening. And a lot of times, it happens that you keep saying things like, can you come again, please? Can you come again, please? And that can really be frustrating to the client. It can also be irritating because it shows that you are not really there, even though your physical body is there. So I'm going to hand over from here to my colleague, Eno, to take over from here, and then we will entertain your questions when she is done. Thank you very much. Eno, do you want me to share for you?
Yes, please. Thank you. Thanks, Moji. Good evening, everyone. Okay.
Love the background. Thank you.
Thanks. And before I start, I have to commend Moji because I must say she's the reason why this happened this evening. The person had given up yesterday afternoon because I got frustrated, but thanks, Moji. So on the subject matter, that we're discussing this evening. Muji has highlighted quite some topics under the competency maintain presence. Now I'll be speaking on the need for a coach to demonstrate confidence in the coaching process. Now, like we know, the coaching process is a process that is thought-provoking. So the likelihood that emotions may run high exists. It's important that as a coach, in engaging with either your mentees, your coaches, or your client, you're able to balance emotions both on your part, and then in the case where the client exhibits, strong emotions, you're able to give some or elude some level of confidence. It, as far as I'm concerned, gives some professional touch to the session, and it also builds trust. So if a client sees that you're able to manage, whether the person is outraged or the person is sad, or it's just something that it really like we know human emotions, you're not able to really gauge what it is, but the way you manage this events goes a long way to drive the quality of the conversations that you also have. I think from a partnership point of view, which coaching is also about, it helps the client to desire a repeat session. So if you feel that you're talking to someone who is professional and is able to understand and exhibits a high level of or demonstrates high level of confidence when you maybe, for instance, you're throwing tantrums, that person would understand and respect the fact that you're somebody who has exhibited a high level of professionalism, and it will go a long way to drive the coaching process. Moji, next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. It's not up on my side. Okay, so the next attribute of the maintains presence.
Can you see it now?
Yes, is comfortable working in a space of not knowing. So not knowing, I would say, is powerful. It's powerful in the sense that it's not, about being ignorant, but it gives or it lays a foundation for one being intentional, and it gives rise to curiosity. So if in a session, you as a coach are able to work comfortably in a space of not knowing, it would help and encourage the quality of questioning rather than assuming. I don't know if that comes through properly, but for me, my understanding is that if you, as a coach, do not have full knowledge of what it is that your client has put on the table, it would be a perfect opportunity for you to have a good questioning, or maybe I should use the word probing. You should be able to probe, properly, and it would enhance the quality of the session or the conversation. And I think to a large extent, the fact that you're able to confidently acknowledge that you don't know and you question properly, and you don't just come up with some kind of assumption, also gives some credibility or a high level of credibility to this session in itself. So it also would build confidence. Moji, please can you go to the next slide? I think that would be the last, I think. Okay, so lastly, the last attribute of maintained presence speaks to allowing for some space for silence, pause, and reflection. Now, I would say that this in a coaching session, active listening is a very important attribute. And I think that as an element of active listening, it's important that a coach gives the opportunity both to his or herself and the parties involved to reflect where necessary, some silence or pause, and that would also help or allow the client feel that he or she is given the opportunity to reveal more, dig more into what it is that you're discussing or you have to express. And it also gives an opportunity to enhance the quality of the conversations. So if you're not just rushing and talking about certain things, or you just allow the person keep talking, and you don't even hear what the person is saying. I know Moji had mentioned some things about paraphrasing in the course of discussions. Some of those things are what we're trying to highlight in this particular attribute. So there's a need for creating some space to allow for this reflection and then enhancement of presence. What's this? Enhancements of presence in the sessions that you have with your clients or your mentees or coaches, as the case may be. And I think also from an engagement point of view, it also gives one the sense of being heard and being valued. So it's not just the case of, if it's a 1 hour session, once the person comes in and you clock time, the person talks till, the session is over and then clocks out. It enhances the quality of the conversations that one has. Yeah, I think that is all from us this evening. I don't know if, can you go to the next slide? I think the next slide should be the questions. Yeah, if there's any. Yeah.
Do we have
please pardon me, I'm not a professional coach. I'm just using my HR brain to take this session. So please, I may not have gotten all the coaching slangs right, but
No, you don't need to apologize for that. And no, I mean, lessons is for us to learn together, and that is why we are using the competency guide from ICF. So trust me, we are all learning. We're all on this journey learning together.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And once again, thanks, Moji, and thank you to other members of
Oh,
team.
wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
So much. Awesome session. Thank you, Moji. Moji gave us a fantastic start, and Eno gave us a superb closure to that start. Junction, I don't know if there's any member of the team, group 5, that might want to add 1 or 2 comments. Please feel free before we start taking questions from other people. Any member of team 5 that might want to add your thoughts, your learning from the...
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, first and foremost, I would have to personally really commend the team. Team 5, I'm a member of that team. And I got to know about our presentation and the need for us to share from the 5th competency of the competencies for coaching yesterday. And just like certain things, if something will go wrong, it will definitely really go wrong. But again, the good thing is how you now really respond to it. So incidentally, that same yesterday, my device battery just went, dead. I couldn't bring it up. And I had to, at some point, just decide to remove my SIM, put it to another phone. And I was able to now move my WhatsApp, platform to it. So that's just the background to let you know that I didn't have any single contribution on input to the content that has been, presented this evening. But I must tell you that personally also I have gained, a lot from the presentations from both Moji, Sola, and Eno. And I guess it was Eno that reached out to me yesterday, I think in the afternoon or morning time, and about this. So straight to what I just want to add to what has been presented. I appreciate the fact that, even outside of coaching, ability to maintain presence of mind, it's a major skill that all of us needs to own. All right. And why I'm saying that is because presence, all right, maintaining presence is a function of your being able to pay attention. And globally today, we know that the most critical, commodity in the world today is attention. All right, it is attention. It is nothing else. Even whether you are coaching your children, whether you are coaching your teammates, whether you are trying to sell something to a client, attention is critical. The moment you get attention, every other thing follows. All right, and I believe the same thing in coaching. If you are able to demonstrate to your client, demonstrate to the group that you are coaching that they have your full attention, trust me, it makes it very easy for them to release more, share more, all right, discuss more, and also be able to take whatever you are bringing out as authentic. All right, because the truth is that if you are not able to demonstrate to me that you have totally and completely understood, all right, my need or my position or my challenge or situation that I'm going through, all right, and you suddenly decide to, start recommending or start requesting that I do one or two things, most of the time you realize that people may not really buy it. And that's why I feel that of all the competencies, and I think the next one is also very closely related to presence, all right, maintaining presence in coaching. And that is active listening, which I believe is going to be the next one we're going to discuss. So I just want to say that as coaches, even if you are not coaching, all right, in day-to-day interaction, presence of mind is a major challenge for all of us. But as a coach, we need to become more intentional. We have to become more deliberate, and we have to always know that when I have you, I have you. And when I said that you have me, you should have me. And I should be able to demonstrate that to you such that there's no doubt that indeed you have my 100% attention. And I think for some reason, I think in my own personal observation, giving an example, most times when in our own environment, there's a lot of problem with attention. All right, but I noticed that when you travel abroad, let me just give this observation I've made personally. When you travel abroad, and I've experienced it, all right, probably at the airport, and you are trying to get somebody's attention, somebody to attend to you regarding an issue, and you have people on the queue, all right, because of where we are coming from, most of the time you felt that whichever way you can still get that person's, the person that counter or the official that you want to request something from to attend to you. But you realize that because they have been trained, I want to believe that you need to be able to give 100% attention and concentration to whoever is in your presence or is in front of you per time. You realize that I have found myself embarrassing myself, that I'm trying to, not that I wanted to shun the queue, but I felt that my issue is so minor that I needed that person to just give me a quick response to it. They wouldn't. They would still maintain focus, maintain presence of mind, as it were, and attending to the client that is in front of them. And I think that is also very important in our own coaching framework, as it were, because I have found myself in coaching somebody sometimes I'm doing WhatsApp coaching, all right? And in WhatsApp coaching, you know, most of the time you are not talking, but you are sending messages, you are exchanging messages. Even in that, somebody can pick if you are not paying attention. Somebody can, and I personally, I realize that as I'm sending messages to someone that I'm coaching, another message is dropping on my phone, and I'm tempted to want to check it. But the truth is that you might lose your trail of thoughts if you decide to shift and say, oh, let me quickly check this, whether you consider that thing urgent or important, whatever it is. So I just felt that it's a very powerful component of the attributes, all right, that which needs to build, because nobody is born with that, all right? And again, it also depends on the nature of your work, because sometimes some people, based on their nature of their work, they've been able to build that level of maintaining presence, all right, to some degree, much more than others. People that are usually on the road, they find it, let me say, marketing or marketers or salespeople, they can have issues with being able to pay attention and stay true on the course much more than and less than people that are back office people. Now I'm just giving as an example, you know, back office people, people that are more into analytical work, people that are over time develop the ability to review things and you know, pay attention to details and all of that. People like that would tend to be able to demonstrate presence of mind or maintain presence when you are coaching. But I believe that, like every other skills, we need to begin to develop them, all right? And we need to begin to even ask people to evaluate us, because that's another thing. Evaluate me, all right, in my ability to I think after every coaching experience in coach, you might just have a simple, evaluation form for yourself, all right, and give to the coachee or to the group of people that you are coaching, all right, to just rate you and give you how have you fared. And I think truly, probably we may want to, this is now a call to action for me, for us as HR, GEMS, members, all right, we may want to probably create an evaluation form along this competency, competency framework for coaching, such that at the end of each session, you can give it to your client to evaluate you along these areas, not something else. You can have another one, but I think for us to be able to improve over time, when we get a lot of feedback from our clients, it will really, really help us to be able to develop more in all these areas. But I think, in closing, the maintaining presence of mind is a very critical component of our work. To be able to, one, establish that you are credible and that you are authentic, and that whatever solution you are bringing on board, is really, tailor-made for that situation, not something that is outside, because it is until you are able to truly, properly understand what the peculiarity of the issues the person is discussing with you before you can come up with a credible solution that will also speak to that person's situation as it is. So thank you very much, Mojisola and Eno, for bailing the team out. And of course, you did a fantastic job of that. That is my own personal feedback to you. Thank you very much, everybody. And Lara, once again, I appreciate what you are doing. And you are really helping all of us to get better at this game, which is very important. Thank you very much, everyone.
Wow. Team 5, amazing, awesome, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been really powerful listening to the three of you representing Team 5. Thank you, and well done. Excellent. Thank you, Shola, for that excellent contribution from your wealth of experience. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. All right, so we have about 11 minutes more. So we'll open the floor for questions from the other members of the GEMS who are listening this evening. Questions, anyone? Questions, comments? Let's make it interactive. It's a learning session. We're all here to learn together. And I think today's topic is really critical, especially given the fact that we're in a world where we have so many things demanding for our time. It is crazy. An average person currently have 2 phones. An average. I mean, if you maybe you have 1 phone but 2 SIMs. 1 SIM for either your company, 1 for your personal business, 1 CUG. So we have so many devices. I mean, I went to see someone recently, and in her office, she had 2 laptops in her front, 1 iPad on the table, 2 devices, and there were like 4 gadgets right in front of her. And she was trying to catch up with so many things. And especially now that we are all virtual now, so a lot of meetings here and there. So there's a lot competing for our time. And how are we all, and it's really important that we learn how to maintain the present. Sorry, Mary is calling me at this time. Mario. Sorry about that. Okay, so questions from the house or comments or any experience, given the fact now that it's important for us to learn to practice maintaining presence. And I'd just like to add to all the wonderful contributions that have been made this evening, is the need for us to practice it. And it takes deliberate effort. I was listening to Dandapani a while back, and he made a comment. He said, a lot of times when we talk to our children, for those of us that have children or younger ones at home, we tell them to read, and they get distracted, they're doing something else. And we're saying to them, concentrate, concentrate, concentrate. But what he said is, we don't get taught in school how to concentrate, and yet the world demands of us to concentrate. But concentrating takes effort, and it takes intentionality, like Shola had mentioned. And for me, it also takes practice. How do you practice concentrating? Is by focusing on one thing, giving an undivided attention on one thing at a time. Even though, especially for women, we like to multitask. And I fall into that trap a lot of times. I mean, one thing that I'm thinking, I need to do this, I need to submit that report, I need to do, but we need to be very intentional to you often just ask for attention whilst that, hey, look at what I see. You see what we are talking about. And this is not one phone, no. So you're in the middle of something, and every other thing is demanding for your attention. But it starts with us practicing. First, we need to be intentional, and we need to practice. When you are having a team coaching session or a one-on-one coaching session or a dialogue with someone, practice the act of giving your own divided attention to that thing, one at a time. It might be difficult at first, but the more you practice, then the better you become at developing and maintaining presence during conversation. I thought to add that to the brilliant conversation that has happened. Okay, anyone else? Comments, questions from the house?
Good evening, Coach Lara. Good evening, house. So good to see you in this beautiful attire. So, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, my own contribution is in form of a question. I know this, but for the benefit of those who may not know, and for those who may want to share, who may want to give another perspective to the answer to the question, I would like to ask. So, what is the difference between the ability to multitask and sorry, how do you strike a balance between multitasking and maintaining your presence?
Thank you.
I hope you understand that question, because it's also a skill on its own. the skill of versatility and multitasking. So how do we strike a balance between these things so that we do justice to the discourse?
Thank you so much. So MOJ, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Johnson. Okay, so when you talk about maintaining a balance between multitasking and maintaining a presence, okay, so I used to say to, I'm just looking for a way to interpret this Yoruba proverb that says, you're praying to live long and you don't want to see evil. You will pick one. It's either that you live long and you build resilience and grace to be able to face challenges and get better at it and get stronger, and you're also becoming a role model and a blessing to other people, or you want to be lazy and you don't want to attend to any challenge in life, and then you have to die and go to heaven. That is where you don't see evil. What am I saying? You're talking about multitasking, you're talking about maintaining presence. You cannot have two masters. While you are multitasking, I believe that what I believe about multitasking is if you bring similar things together, things that look similar, you are doing it at the same time, you are gaining traction, yes. But if you are doing things that do not have any relationship, no connection at all, you might lose some and you might gain some. Because when we're talking about maintaining presence, it means that you are there, you are actively and effectively listening. You are there, you are bringing in your whole being, your emotion, your person, your body, physically, spiritually, you are there. And because you are there, you are able to pick certain unspoken words, and you are able to align with it at that time. And there are some things that your client or your mentee is saying to you, but they are not really not saying it. But because your whole presence is there, you are watching mood, you are watching non-verbal cues, you are watching body language, and that gives you better perspective. It gives you better understanding of who this person is. How can you be multitasking? Your mentee is talking to you and is becoming teary, or is sobbing, or you look, or because you are multitasking, you're not even observant to look at the facial expression of this person to see that this person is actually confused. Because people have different issues that you as a coach, you got to deal with. And being able to deal with it means that you are bringing your whole self in there, your spiritual sense, your physical body, everything. As they are talking, you are reading in between the lines. You are looking at their emotions, you are interpreting it, and you are like, this is where this person, when the person is lost, you will know. But if you are multitasking and you want to maintain presence, you see, maintaining presence is bringing the whole of you. No half-half, no quarter-quarter. It is bringing the whole of you. But multitasking means you are sharing yourself in between too many things. Meaning that something, you can drop some balls and you can be in control of some balls. So that's just my thought about it.
Awesome.
So if you want to maintain presence, maintain it.
Awesome.
If you multitask, you should multitask in another way and just focus on that person, because it also shows respect. It shows that you are sensitive. It shows that you care. It shows that you are listening to them, rather than you are multitasking. It's like this is an example of multitasking. Let me show it to you. I'm listening to you. Don't worry, I'm listening. But you are pressing your phone. Say, "Kilo someone, why are you behaving like this?" So don't worry, I'm listening. Excuse me. Somebody at the verge of suicide, and you're saying, "Don't worry." Maybe I'm the owner of my body. I can hear you now. Hello, you've lost the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emoji, for that excellent response. And while you were talking, something just came to my mind. So just imagine you're a medical doctor and you need to perform a surgery on a patient. And you go into the surgery room with your phone and you're dissecting or you're attending to the patient, and then you're checking your phone, you're doing you're multitasking while performing a surgery on a living being. I think when it comes to coaching, we can also equally relate that scenario to coaching. I mean, somebody is sort of committing their life, if I can use that word, into your hands by having that conversation, speaking to you, expressing the desire to move from the point that they are to their desired state. So it's how much gravity that we bring to that situation would determine if it's something you want to multitask about or it's something you need to maintain your presence in it. So we also need to understand that for me, coaching is not just an activity, it's a calling, and it requires a lot of trust from that person. And once that trust is broken, you've lost, I don't want to use the word a life, but you've lost, you sort of, it feels like you've lost someone that you could have helped to move from a particular point to another point. So my response to you, Johnson, would be, it depends on the situation. If it's a life situation, then you have to bring your whole self to that. But if it is other activity that's like MOJ mentioned, similar in nature, is not life-threatening, maybe you're working on one schedule and you have to sign, if it's not life-related per se, then at that point you can't multitask. So I think it's based on the situation. I hope we...
Okay, sorry. Hello, Lara.
Yes, please. Tayo.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Tayo.
Good evening. Sorry, first and foremost, let me apologize. I was in touch with my members of the group. I just got back to Lagos. I struggled. I told them I will try and see if I can join, but unfortunately, I couldn't. I'm just joining. I joined a few minutes ago, so I didn't even listen to this to Moji's presentation. And then, although we've been in touch before now, Moji, and then I want to say a very big thank you for building out the team. Good work. I saw some comments. Fantastic job and presentations you guys have done. I really thank both of you for that. Let me just quickly add my voice to in line with the questions asked. Just like you said, Lara, when coaching is as serious as when you want to really perform a surgery, multitasking is a skill. Coaching is equally a skill. But when you are coaching, you have mentioned some salient things. One, what is the underlying issues you are dealing with when performing coaching? Just like when you want to perform a surgery, this CS you want to do, what kind of surgery are you trying to perform? You must first of all understand the dynamism around this, the issue, whatever surgery you want to perform. The same thing with coaching. Then you will now beginning to know if it is an activity that you can combine with any other activity for the few minutes you are dedicated in performing this. It's just the same, it's the same scenario. For the moment the period you are performing this, you have to define the time frame. Timing is as equally as important as anything when you are performing these coaching activities. And within that time, give your own self as you would do as a surgeon, so that you don't, at the end of the day, lost a life in quotes. You understand? So multitasking is a skill that everyone in this in the current world of work must have, but it is not to be fully deployed when you are performing a coaching activities where it is required of you to bring your whole self and maintaining a deeper presence. So we must be able to know the boundary between when to apply these two skills. Thank you again. On behalf of my team, I really want to say a big thank you. You've done us so proud. I saw Lara's comment when I came in, and I know for Lara to comment, I think we are winning from all of the previous presentation. If we have to be judged and ranked in terms of performance on what we have done. Thank you so much, my team, and Muji. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, that is so powerful. Thank you so much, Tayo. Thank you. I mean, you said it all. You said it all. For us, it's important that we define the timing so that you can give your whole attention to that session. Thank you, Team 5. I love Team 5. You guys are very special. And the fact that your other team members also openly came out to apologize and also to support. For me, it already shows the team connection that exists within your team. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so it's past 8 o'clock. I don't know if there's any comments. We have to close now so we can all get ready for the week. It's a short week, a 3-work-day week, because there's going to be public holiday on Thursday and Friday. So on that note,
I don't have public holiday.
Oh, sorry, our hospitality people. Sorry. I'll take your own and join with my own. Even me manufacturing, we produce 24 hours. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So I would like every one of us to put in the comment box. I mean, we are all here to learn together. Nobody knows it all. Just a word, your key takeaway from this session, very quickly, your key takeaway from this session, please put it in the chat box. Let's encourage team 5 as well. Any comments, any word of encouragement? It's teamwork. We've seen how the team had been very supportive and how the other team members who couldn't participate equally came out to support them as well. Thank you. Fantastic presentation. MOJ, please share your presentation slide. We'll post it on the repository and share the link. The recording will equally be available to everyone so that people can listen in again and learn. It's a learning platform. We grow together, we learn together, we transform ourselves first. It starts with us. The transformation that we all seek starts with us. Is from our knowledge of understanding what we need to do will enable us to be change agents, to go into the world and begin to change the narrative, begin to help people bring their whole self to work. It starts with us first. On that note, thank you so much, everyone. It's been another exciting learning time. Thank you, Team 5. Our next team coaching session for Team 6 will be in 2 weeks' time. So it's a bi-monthly session. We had to stop for a while because of our events and everything. Thank you, everyone. So please put in a comment on the chat box. Let's encourage Team 5. They've done a fantastic presentation this evening. They've empowered us. They've shared their knowledge. Eno, fantastic. When I saw Eno speaking, I was so happy to see her. I love the way she spoke, so gentle and yet powerful. Gentle and yet powerful. Wow. Eno, fantastic. So proud of you, sis. Thank you, Emoji.
Thank you, Lara. Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
That was powerful. Thank you. Thank you, Emoji, for
have a
taking
great
the
week.
lead on this. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. So please, can we go off mute?
Thank you.
Just encourage our Team 5. Just say thank you to every one of them. Thank you. Please go off mute and let's encourage them. Let's say thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your time and listening.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was a beautiful
Thank you.
session.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Coach Lara.
Thank you, Madam Eno. Thank you, Coach Lara. Thank you,
Thank you,
Madam
Emoji.
Thank
Moji.
you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Beautiful session. Bye, everyone, and enjoy your week. Thank you, everyone.